Hey, good morning, class. Good Sunday morning, and welcome to the second week of Introductory Psychology. Welcome back. Hopefully, you are enjoying your weekend. You're enjoying yourself. Beautiful weekend. Starting to feel like fall. Had some beautiful weather this weekend. Kind of cold, really cold actually. Maybe a little rough if you weren't ready for that. It took me a little while to get used to, but I like my seasons to actually feel like, the appropriate season. Just going back and forth from hot and cold, I'm ready for just cold. Just give me some cold for a while. Yesterday was also cool. We had a big day as far as sports in Oklahoma goes. Both OU and OSU won. Really happy when that happens. And they play each other next week. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And the Thunder won last night too in Chicago. So pretty good. Anytime we have the Thunder, the Pokes and the Sooners winning in the same day, I'm happy. That's a good day. Good day for the state. Good day for the state economy. Good day for the state well-being. So nobody's stressing. Anyways, hopefully you're enjoying your weekend, enjoying the change of weather. But this week, got some important things to get into. Got a busy week. We are covering 2 chapters. Like most weeks, we're going to cover 2. We're going to cover chapters 3 and chapter 4. Chapter 3 is on the topic of sensation and perception, getting into our 5 senses. There are more than 5, of course. Hopefully you'll discover that if you haven't already. So from this chapter, you should be able to define and differentiate between sensation and perception. They are related and go hand in hand, but they are 2 similar processes. Identify the parts of the eye, explaining the properties of light and theories of color vision. So a little bit of anatomy. You're going to get into the looking at how the eye works. Also describing how visual perception works. More anatomy, getting into identifying the parts of the ear. There's more to the ear than just the pinna, the outside of the ear. Explain how hearing works. You'll be describing the functions of chemical senses like skin, kinesthesis, and vestibular sense. And also explaining why psychologists sort of are skeptical about extrasensory perception. So if ESP at all interests you, you'll get to do a little bit of reading about that. Also, if anybody in our class believes in ESP, go ahead and please raise my hand right now. I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Really bad joke from Kurt Vonnegut. Okay, so we're reading chapter 4 as well. 3 is sensation perception. Chapter 4 is on consciousness. One of my favorite chapters of the textbook. Just really fascinating stuff we get into. So defining what consciousness is, what the sense of awareness is, explaining the nature of sleep and disorders. So we're starting to explore the DSM for the first time, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Illness, getting into sleep disorders, explain the nature of hypnosis, meditation, biofeedback, and altering consciousness, looking at substance abuse, substance disorders. So talking about the different types of substances, depressants, stimulants, and hallucinogens, uppers, laughers, screamers, and criers. So you're going to be reading about how that affects consciousness as well. So kind of a lot going on in this week's reading. So read chapter 3 and chapter 4. There is a discussion post this week focused around the topic of attention, specifically texting and driving and how that impacts our attention. So please make sure you read over the post, and be a part of that post. I wanted to take a moment and talk about last week's discussion post. Overall, I think you all did a wonderful job. You interacted with one another. You introduced yourself. You provided interesting examples of psychologists working in your community. And for the most part, I thought everyone did a good job. The only thing I took points off for, I think, was some of your response. Some people's responses to their peers were kind of short and kind of skimpy. So I don't think anybody had an issue really with their initial post, but I think some of you might have had some trouble with kind of providing depth to your response to your peers. So make sure you're interacting and you're providing more than just hey, I like your post, and that's it. Give a little more, ask questions or engage. But other than that, I thought the first posts were great, and glad to see. I'm excited to see what the next week's bring. I think the topic is interesting, and I'm looking forward to your opinions on this. Also wanted to give your attention that exam 1 is posted and active, and it'll be open until the 6th of November. So you got a little more than a week to take that. The exam covers chapters 1 through 4. It's 50 multiple choice questions, and they are application questions. You'll not only have to know the terms and definitions from the chapter, but also be able to apply them in real world contexts. And I tried to pick the terms and definitions that were most critical to the chapter. So I wasn't trying to pick anything obscure. And there's 50 questions between 4 chapters. There's roughly about 12 to 13 questions per chapter. So nice balance. But it's multiple choice. There's no time limit either, so don't stress about that. But you have a little more than a week to take it. I highly recommend that you send questions when you have them. If you're reviewing and preparing, please send questions. Let me know what your concerns are, what's confusing. Feel free to ask each other via the discussion posts. You guys can respond to each other's questions and inquiries, but I will be more than happy to help out there as well. So remember this week, read chapter 3 and 4. Make sure you post on the discussion post and respond to 2 of your peers, and you also have an exam. I know it's a lot going on this week, but these 8-week classes, we got to cram a lot of stuff into a short amount of time. It's time to grind. I know you guys are capable of being successful and getting it all done, but please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I look forward to reading your discussion posts and seeing your exam grades, and I'll see you all next week. Okay, take care. Bye.